seen each other since Garrick Mach. You've grown lovelier than ever, Edelgard.
You're not so unfortunate yourself. And as usual, you're here at a most inopportune moment.
Well, I'm sure we have much to talk about. But how about we settle things first?
No objections here. Prepare yourself, Claude.
Enough! You've bested me. If I die here, the Alliance becomes part of the Empire.
Do you yield then? You've never known when to give up.
Well, I can't just surrender so easily. I'm responsible for the others. If you're as smart as you seem, I bet you figured out why I was able to summon Almyran reinforcements. Wouldn't it be better to let me go and have me in your debt? I see. Right until the very end, I've read this whole thing terribly wrong. All my hopes have fallen to ash. It's all up to you now, Edelgard. I hope you really do make the world better.
Everybody, raise your voices in a victory cheer. Deirdre is ours. Deirdre is ours. The Alliance has collapsed and their leader has fallen. If Claude had lived, the faction of the Alliance that is against the Empire would never have stopped fighting us. To keep the bloodshed to a minimum, he had to be taken out of the equation. However, now that it's over, I can't help but wonder if he was in complete control of that entire situation. What will become of the Alliance without him? He must have taken that into account. Without the rule of House Regan, and with most of that territory left unscathed, the Alliance will undoubtedly ally itself with the Empire. The citizens' lives will be saved from ruin, and no more blood will be shed. Perhaps that's what he wanted from the start. Of course, if his plan here in Deirdre had worked and I had lost my life, the opposite would have come to pass. The Empire would have rushed to the Alliance without further conflict. No matter how the battle unfolded, Claude secured the shortest, most peaceful outcome possible.
Lady Edelgard, Deirdre is now completely under our control. As planned, the Alliance's affairs will now be overseen by Count Burgleys.
My father is coming here? First west, then east. You sure keep him busy.
Should the others return to the monastery and prepare to face the kingdom?
Yes, thank you, Hubert. Thanks to all of your efforts, our battle with the Alliance has reached its conclusion. However, we still can't afford to be careless. We must now join the battle against the kingdom. With the strength of the Church on their side, they will prove to be a formidable enemy. More than ever, your support is invaluable. We'll need it in the days to come. But for now, let's enjoy our triumphant return.
Let's get to it!
I'm so happy that the end of the fighting is near. Too bad there's still more violence to come. The kingdom and the Church of Seiros are worthy for fighting. I will crush them into very small pieces.
Crushing wouldn't yield a lot of pieces, but I guess it would get the job done. With the professor, we can't lose. Probably.
Oh no, are we fighting Lady Rhea? But she's scary, and she'll be really angry. But no way she can stay in her spooky beast form all the time, right? If she could, she would have come and attacked the monastery as many times as she wanted.
It may be wishful thinking, but perhaps it is a power that she can only access when the situation is dire. But whether she is the Archbishop or the Immaculate One, we cannot be stopped. Half remains, but half is finished. We are certainly moving forward.
No one can stop us from pushing forward. No one.
Part 2. Crimson Flower. Pegasus Moon. Tempest of Swords and Shields. With Deirdre under Imperial control, the Leicester Alliance ceases to exist, and its remaining lords ally themselves with the Empire. The Black Eagle Strike Force, having now conquered all of Eastern Fodlan, confidently moves to invade the kingdom.
And that concludes Count Burghley's report. Just as your majesty predicted, the old alliance has willingly fallen under imperial rule. However, even with Claude dead, there is no telling what manner of poison he left in his wake. We must be careful not to expose any weakness.
Of course, though it seems we can now attack the kingdom without issue.
True. However, you should know that Lord Arundel has entered Deirdre. It would seem he has already started collecting the relics of the old alliance.
Let him do as he pleases for now. It's not yet the time to chide him.
Understood. As for the kingdom, as we theorized, it is not entirely united. If we defeat the royal family of House Blathed, and a handful of other notable houses, it should fall under our control quite readily. Those we must target include the houses Fraldarius, Galatea, Gautier, and Karen. We have allies who are close to some of those lords. Perhaps that can be used to our advantage. Persuasion by tears or threats. Perhaps one would consent to act as a hostage. We must make good use of the tools given to us.
What about House Row in Aryan Row, the fortress city? Will they not side with us?
The head of House Fraldarius, Lord Rodrigue, has entered the city. It is possible that he has seized it.
I see. Then it might prove too difficult to strike Ferdiad right away.
Either way, when preparations are complete, we can begin our deployment into the kingdom.
That part of the plan remains unchanged. Professor, is something wrong? Yes, I don't imagine that you have much interest in a running list of noble names. But it matters not. The nobility and the weight of all those names will be gone once the war is over. This month, we must again put all of our effort into preparing for battle. I'm counting on you, my teacher. Professor, you didn't hear anything just now, did you? Cute! Huh. Well, be that as it may, it is not your concern. It was nothing. You seem to be trying your hardest to infuriate me. Don't you dare say that again. It's just, well, there was a rat. I don't enjoy the company of rats. I believe I've told you about this before, about when I was held captive beneath the palace. There were a lot of rats there. To this day, I just... What? Oh, Professor, leave here at once. I recall now that Hubert needs to speak with me. I must change my clothes. Now, whatever you do, don't look this way. Then forget what you saw. That's an order.